So I'm doing my Exosomes 6-month check-in about 3 to 4 days shy of 6 months. Today is July 28th, I believe, and technically I'm, August would be, 6 months. So I just thought I'd do the video. I have some time right now. There's nobody here in the house, and so I figured I'll just sit down. I wrote down everything. And I mean, really, what is there to report? So, lots of histamine issues. So, there's going to be sort of a caveat here that I will talk about. Actually, let me mention it here at the beginning. So, I have been off of my Ivig for about 3.5 months. So, I stopped taking it mid-April because I was having a lot of issues with it and the exosomes kind of mixing up together. There is no contraindication, by the way. My doctor had told me to stop my Ivig 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the exosomes for a total of 5 weeks. And then I could go back on the Ivig, and I did after the 2 week post exosomes period, and was having issues and had to stop it. So if you want the full story, it's probably in my like first or second check-in here on the playlist. So a lot of these issues can also be from not having my Ivig. I have noticed in the past, after about 3 months off of my Ivig, I start losing all the progress that I had made on my Ivig. So I start losing, I start again with the frequent urination, and all that kind of stuff, which were things and issues that were resolved with the Ivig. So you'll be hearing about that here. Please just take that into consideration as I go down this list. So yes, lots of histamine issues. My hair has been falling out. I did talk about that. There will be a video, if it hasn't gone up yet, it will be going up, where I discuss the hair thing. It's basically an update because I started with the hair loss issues in 2019. I had really itchy eyes. I also mentioned that in another video. The itchiness seems to be better now. It was like 5 days. Seems to be better, but I will let you guys know if it does kick up again. I don't think it's makeup related. So, you typically, if it's makeup related, I have the itchiness all day long as the makeup is on my eyes. But it was only like at night, and it was like really aggressive itching. I have had dryness, dry mouth, dry eyes, dryness anywhere that you can imagine. Like anywhere where there's kind of like a mucosal lining type of situation. And again, that may go with the frequent urination, and that may be part of the lack of Ivig situation. So what other issues have I had? I've had like knee pain, and feeling weak or tired, but not consistent. It will happen here and there. The days when I go out, to the swap meet, I come back, my legs are kind of tired and achy. So it could be related to that. I don't know, but it's not something that, like I said, it's not every day. Might be related to activity, but I just thought it's worth mentioning because I will have knee pain sometimes related to PMS or some kind of inflammatory reaction towards like from a food. But maybe now I'm having it because I'm standing up or walking around or something. But I do go for a walk most days for 40 minutes, and I don't have knee pain or leg achiness after my walks. I'm also having, like I said, loose stools, probably going towards the diarrhea direction. And again, that could be from the lack of Ivig. I can't say that all of this stuff is related to the exosomes. I can only report what is happening. Now, one thing that I did do a couple weeks ago, it was probably like not this past weekend, but the weekend before, was I was eating something that had a lot of sugar in it. They were like these little ice cream. I think they're called mochis or mokis or whatever. They were gluten-free, they were dairy-free, but they did have sugar. That could also have triggered some kind of inflammatory response because I'm not supposed to eat things that are high in sugar or that have really any sugar. But typically, the effects of that go away within a few days, and it's been like 2 weeks almost. So my guess is that a lot of this is related to not being on my IVIG. Um, with my last period, I had horrible insomnia to the point where I had to take something or else I was not going to sleep. The night sweats were back. Crazy ruminations, just my mind would not stop. So again, all of that can also be related to the lack of IVIG, because the IVIG, I believe, had helped with night sweats. It has also helped tremendously with cramping. I did have cramps, but my cramps are still not back at my pre-IVIG levels. But they have been a little bit more intense. So I think a lot of what is happening is that, some symptoms are kicking back up because I'm not on my IVIG, and some symptoms are sort of maintaining, probably because of the exosomes. But my thought was that the exosomes would pick up where the IVIG left off, but maybe that's just not happening. And we'll also get to that. I've had a few days where my energy, and I think I may have talked about this in another update, I will have a day where I'm off of my oxygen, typically like on the weekend, when I go to the swamp meet, and I do well. I'm not saying I'm feeling great. I am not saying that my energy is incredible, but I do fine throughout the day off of my oxygen. And I had like a day like that this week. I was on and off of my oxygen, but I was doing okay. Now, is it anything incredibly, uh, like before I got sick? No, I'm not. I'm not there, but I just noticed that there is like this little mild improvement of energy sometimes. But I also think, again, I'm using my oxygen consistently. So if I'm using it Monday through Friday and then on Saturday I do well and I'm feeling well, it's probably because I've been using oxygen all week long. So, you know, I still cannot just be off of my oxygen for days and days. The other thing too, and I may have mentioned this, is the acne situation. Right now my face is relatively clear. When I do get acne, I notice that it goes away faster. So before I could get like a pimple or a cystic acne situation, it would take a long time. It would take weeks. A regular pimple would just kind of stay there for, over a week. They never come to the surface. They just kind of leave a mark and they're just there. And it takes forever for them to go away. And now it's like I can have like maybe a little breakout related to hormones, but then it goes away within a few days. Like I noticed that the swelling and the inflammation, I have one back here, like a scab. I pick a lot, and what happens is that because the pimple is there for such a long time, I pick and pick and pick and pick, and that ends up turning into a scar. And I've noticed that now I will pick, but then within a couple of days the swelling is down. So I stop picking, right? Because it's the swelling is down. I don't feel it anymore. And that's having a big pimple and the swelling goes down within a few days. So I don't know what that, I mean, I'm glad and I'm happy about that, but again, it's not worth the price I paid for this treatment. That's not the reason why I did this treatment. So stomach issues are kicking up again. Like I said, the diarrhea or the loose stools, but I'm also waking up with nausea. So there's something about laying down. And I remember I was having this, I think, before I started the IVIG in 2018, but it was related, I think, more to like a SIBO situation. I don't know if I have SIBO or SIFO. I have been taking caprylic acid to kind of kill that. But I'm still having the loose stools. It feels more like lower abdominal as opposed to upper abdominal, which is where you have SIBO and SIFO. That happens in the small intestine. I think where the stomach connects to the small intestine, that's where there's an overgrowth of bacteria. And I don't think it's happening there. I think now the situation is lower down. But I'm still waking up with that nausea, or I'm having the nausea in my sleep. There's something about the laying down, so it could be stomach acid. And again, that wouldn't surprise me because the lining of my stomach is probably like non-existent at this point. I feel like all the mucosa lining, all the moisture in my intestines, in my mouth, in my everywhere else, and all of my orifices has just basically evaporated. So it could be that. So I'm having that nausea. I had loss of appetite. I was not like hungry at all for a couple of days. Um, I have been having more appetite the last few days. Um, but again, I'm still waking up with that weird nausea. So I don't know what that is. Like I don't know what the nausea plus the hunger. I don't really know what's going on there, and I can't really come to any conclusion whether it's SIBO or anything like that because I don't know. I'm confused. That's really confusing me right now. I have lost weight. I'm not surprised that I've lost weight. Again, when I'm off of my IVIG, I tend to lose weight. When I'm on it, I tend to gain weight. Although, I didn't gain as much as I had hoped on IVIG, which is why I was pursuing the exosomes thing. But at this point, I think I've lost about 2 pounds, which is a lot for someone that was already underweight to begin with. And I start noticing that in my clothes. But then I step on a scale. I avoid stepping on the scale, but then I step on the scale and it's like, yes, I've lost weight. And you can even tell, these laugh lines get a little bit worse. My eyes are a little bit more sunken in. I just look like a hot mess in general. So yeah, gas, bloating, but all of that could be related to the diarrhea or to, the lack of IVIG. So a lot of this, I can't say that it's the exosomes. I can't blame the exosomes for causing these issues. It could be the lack of IVIG. Although I was hoping that the exosomes would pick up where the IVIG left off. They're not. Oh, also, by the way, I don't know if you guys can see it. I have a cold sore here. It's small. I'm not wearing lipstick. That's why, because I have that there and I don't want my lipstick touching that. I remember when I first started my IVIG back in 2014 when I did my first round, I got a cold sore. And I remember telling, the nurse, I was like, that's weird because IVIG is supposed to help your immune system. And she was like, oh no, that's good because that means that your immune system is active or it's activating. So it's like fighting whatever's in your body. So I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. But again, I've been off of my IVIG for 3.5 months. And now I have this little cold sore. I hadn't had one in quite some time. I did also get an infection, I think a few weeks ago, possibly related to eating the high sugar ice cream because I was told by a gynecologist, like, stop eating anything with a lot of sugar because that can cause, vaginal infections and things like that. So it could have been that. Could just be that I'm off of my IV. Well, I was getting recurrent infections on my IVIG as well, so I can't blame those things. So yeah, that's the situation. Have I tried my IVIG? I have not tried going back on my IVIG. I am considering it. There is going to be another video going up where I talk about the pharmacy and my insurance. There are some things going on with that, but that will be in a separate video. But I do want to try going back on my IVIG because a lot of these things are very, very alarming, and especially the weight loss. And of course, we know that COVID is still going around. Everybody's getting it. My dad just told me this morning that my aunt has it, and he actually went over there to go see her, and I'm just like, probably not the best idea, but you know, I don't really know what else to do at this point because it's been 6 months and I'm not seeing anything. My doctor did say, we'll check in, at 8 months. Just wait to go back on your IVIG after 8 months. I don't think I can wait that long. The thoracic tightness seems to have plateaued. I am not in as much pain as I was in the you know, first few months after the infusions where it was just horrible, where it flared me up, I am getting the vibe that the flare is actually like gone. Whatever flared me up, that is done. I get the feeling that the exosomes have done whatever they're going to do, and this is it, which I didn't expect because I did read somewhere that it can take 9 months to a year, that the effects of the exosomes carry on that long. And my doctor did tell me, she said, wait 8 months before you go back on your IVIG. And in the last couple of, probably just this past week, I was like, I think the exosomes are done. I think they're done doing whatever the heck they were going to do because, the, the thoracic tightness that I have left right now, again, could also be from my lack of IVIG because when I'm off of my IVIG, my muscles start to tighten up again. So, at the beginning, it was really confusing because I was tightening up ridiculously, and that was definitely a reaction to the exosomes. Now, 6 months out, I don't think it's the exosomes anymore. I don't think the exosomes are really doing anything at this point, and that it's really it's very disappointing. But it's also like 6 months. That was a lot faster than I had expected. Well, I expected that things were going to go, the way that other people had described. Within 3 months, you go through the whole trajectory of that, and then the positive effects carry on. But I'm at 6 months, and it's like the exosomes I feel are done. And in which case, if they are done, they did absolutely nothing. They did less than what I thought they were even going to do. Like I was expecting something. I was not expecting for it to resolve my neurological issues or anything like that. But I was expecting something, and they literally just made me sick for like 6 months, and cost me a lot of money. Made me sick and made me broke. So it's really disappointing. My doctor keeps telling me, it can take a long time, blah blah blah, but again, it would be weird for them to stop doing anything at all and then to just start again, like in a few months. So that's the vibe that I'm getting. Whether that's accurate or whether that's true, I can't say. I will probably continue making videos, a monthly update until the year is done, until I reach the 12-month mark. Because I did read that it can take, it's not uncommon for exosomes to continue, or for the positive results to be seen after 9 or 12 months. And my doctor basically, kind of said the same thing. She said some people will see results, after 1 month, and some people will take months. It really just depends on the individual and how long they've been sick. Or she didn't really say any of that. She just says it's different for everybody. I have been sick for almost 18 years. I wasn't expecting much out of this treatment, but I really wasn't expecting this little either. So that's the update. I know it's like a few days shy of 6 months, but I honestly don't think that within the next 3 days, things are going to miraculously turn around. I will probably also do another update on the IVIG. I want to restart it possibly this Sunday. I am playing it by ear, but given the way that this week has gone, this is Thursday, July 28th. Given the way that I have been feeling this week, I think I have to try to get back on the IVIG and see how I respond to it, because it's not looking good. I hate to say that, it's not looking good, and the situation is really incredibly disappointing. So yeah, so that's what I've got for you guys today. Please stay tuned, like and subscribe. I will, like I said, I'll keep bringing videos even if nothing is happening. I will keep updating you guys at least for the full 12 months. And then we'll take it from there, I guess. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next